Hello everyone, I am Vanessa González. I'm coordinator of the training area for advocacy in Fundación Ciudadanía Inteligente, and today I'm going to talk about citizen engagement and its relation to local public innovation in decision-making processes. First, I want to mention that we are in a key moment. Distrust in institutions, the perception that governments act in favor of only a few, and disaffection with democracies are growing exponentially, reaching even 80% of distrust in some countries of our region. This is a great risk because it generates a scenario where democratic values and human rights are relativized, citizens stop using public services, and violent responses appears more frequently and intensely among citizens or even between institutions and citizens. At the same time, we are experiencing multiple crises such as health, economic, environmental, and humanitarian, affecting the quality of life of our communities and especially those groups and collectives that historically and systematically have been invisibilized, violated, and excluded. Both situations end up directly affecting the daily lives of citizens, so it's not surprising that they have taken the responsibility to communicating and demanding their participation in decision-making processes, ensuring that public decisions respond to their most urgent needs, and looking to recover or even build the connection between communities and institutions. As an example of this demand, we have the gigantic manifestations and protests in countries like Guatemala, Ecuador, Chile, and Mexico in recent years, when in some occasions the use of public spaces for social demands reached about millions of people mobilized simultaneously for one cause. With this situation in mind, an active citizenry willing to mobilize to demand solutions and multiple crisis situations affecting the community simultaneously, what role innovation and strengthening citizen participation have? Well, both theory and experience show us that the processes of innovation and citizen participation together represent a long-term strategy to build and rebuild trust and the link between governments and citizens. Additionally to this, our work in Ciudadanía Inteligente indicates that innovation, technologies, and citizen participation should happen through local governments, cities, or local entities, given their capacity to direct contact with citizens, more easily identify their needs, and respond to it in a territorialized manner, making them strategic actors for a more dynamic and resilient crisis response. Something important is to consider that local governments in Latin America and the Caribbean usually do not have financial, time, and human resources to generate large and extensive innovation processes by testing and applying new technologies. Given this, we want to highlight participation experience and especially citizen laboratories where meetings, collaborations, interactions, and agile methodologies allows the consolidation of minimum infrastructure to solve social problems, but also to progress in the fight against the progress of distrust and disaffection with the institutions. Through two upper projects in Ciudadanía Inteligente, Abre Alcaldías in one hand or Open City Halls, and in the other hand, School of Advocacy or Escuela de Incidencia, we have realized that the minimum infrastructure is based on three pillars that we want to recommend and share as innovation actions for any public decision-making process that wants to advance in innovation and openness. First of all is social participation, second, accountability, and third, transparency, and access to information. There are not such difficult actions, really. But innovations actions like this have multiple barriers, such as the lack of political will, the scarcity of economic resources, digital gap, and the disconnection with different social sectors. In that sense, and whether as public servants, citizens, civil society organizations, or any other actor, we can play a role in the response to these barriers, consolidating societies that embrace diversity, promote social and economic justice approaches, and strengthen citizen participation, and through it, strengthen our democracies. I really believe that we have the power to change our societies, starting by adding or requesting steps in decision making, providing more information, making an extra consultative process, creating spaces for bonding or collaboration, along with any other action can make the difference in the great challenge that is to build or restore the bond between citizens and institutions, and overall strengthening citizen engagement. The encounter, debate, and collaboration between different actors in a long term, even if it's offline, is the form of innovation that we propose. Well, thank you all for your time. If you want to know more about our experiences and cases promoting collaboration and co-construction between local governments and citizens, you can check our webpage ciudadaniae.org or abralcaldías.org. Thank you so much.